Okay, let's take a look at the Y2K bug backdating 100 years. Legacy loans. Let's look at an actual case and see if we can uncover the alleged claim of backdating 100 years by manipulation of the data and burdening the consumer with what we call a credit back for well over $8.8 million. Here, take a look. Okay, take a look at this. It's as compelling as an argument you'll ever get in a judicial foreclosure, and it's equally as bizarre an argument as you'll ever see. But I want you to take a look at this. We're going to start with the loan amount that was given, or the judgment that was issued by the court of New York Supreme Court, judicial foreclosure. I don't have the breakdown, but this was the interest, I believe. This was another amount. These are all the amounts listed from the payoff statement that was provided to the court. And as you can see, these should be all confirmed. So the total number of payoff amounts in total, the aggregate, was $1,209,499.65. You want to check that and reference it, but that is what the court's showing. Now, what I did was I took the per diem that they provided us, which was $256.36, and I'm assuming that this was a constructive liquidation, and in a constructive liquidation under, I think, CFR or IRC 26 IRC section 751, all properties are liquidated as shares and liquidated at zero. It has to do with contra accounting, and it's the tax scheme, I didn't say scam, tax scheme that's being used by the foreclosing beneficiaries in many of these cases in New York. What's interesting, if you divide the total amount of cost and fees, we get 4717.97. You can round it to 4718. And what I'm saying is, if you were to reconstitute the value of this foreclosure at a sale for zero, you'd have to come up with some kind of means and method. And there it is right there, 256.36 per diem into the entire amount would give you a total number of days of 471797. Now, the only thing I'm going to do next is ask you to consider the what seems to be a standard for making these adjustments, and that's 180.5 days for a 1031 exchange. 26.5 days is a weighted average. In a 1031, you have to identify the property, and the weighted average has been 26.5 days. So I got 180.5 adjustment, 26.5, and then the Department of Treasury could or does adjust at 7. I don't know if that's necessary. What I'm also going to include here is an adjustment for the state of New York. Because of the COVID, the Supreme Court noticed that all evictions will have a 120-day stay, so I have to make an allotment for that as far as the time. But what I'm going to do is treat the per diem and number here as days and shares, and that's called an earn out. So let's see what we get by taking this number of days from the date that was listed on the statement. The date on the statement was 11/1/17. I need 11/2/17 also, so we'll come back to that. But I have 11/1/17. Now you see I adjusted it 180.5 days for a 1031. 26.5 days credit back for identifying the property in a 1031. 120 days as ordered by the New York Supreme Court for the COVID, and mandatory, applies to all foreclosures or all repossessions of property and evictions. And then I'm going to add back the number of shares or days, 4717. Let's see what we get. Okay, I come up with 1/31/2029. So from 11/1/17, there's an earnout all the way through 11/31/2029. This would fall under the legacy program. Legacy program means that long after you're gone, you're still financing and funding loans. But look what's interesting. If I can find 11/2 anywhere in the file, I need 11/2/17. At 11/2/17, I'm going to run that from 11/2/17. 11/1/17 goes all the way out through 12/31/29. And 11/2/17 goes all the way out to 1/1/30. Now, do you see anything different between these dates other than 1 day apart? So these dates are all adjusted as you see here. And then from here to here, we have a 1 day adjustment, 4, 5, 31, 1, 31, 2, 31, 1, 1, 30. Well, look what the difference in days are. 100 years, 100 years, 100 years, 100 years, 100 years. That's for a reason. So what I have here is a breakdown that isolates the amount of the total payoff, court judgment, and the per diem. Came up with 471,797, 4,718 days. And I'm showing you 11/1/17 all the way down here to 12/31/29. That's a benchmark for Y2K. And then I did 11/2/17 all the way back to 1/1/30. And the reason is because each one of these backdates 100 years. However, the backdate 100 years actually corresponds to the date 12/30/99. 12/30/99 is your Y2K date. Here you see the New York legislation that says the 120 days. That's where I got that adjustment from. And then I told you the 1031 time allotted and adjusted weight average tie-out for identifying property in a 1031. As you can see, this is not a coincidence. Something is definitely going on here, and the cost to the borrower is the legacy. His legacy is he'll be funding loans for the next 100 years. It's on his property and his dime, and that's what's happening here. It has to do with the Y2K error and omission that you'll find in computer systems, all servicing systems. This computer, this servicer's computer is probably picking this up, as well as the courts. Hang on, I want to show you one more thing. So I've been asked by the defendant in this judicial foreclosure to take a look at it as an auditor and see if we have anything cooking here. You do have the presumption that you have a Y2K backdating scheme. Here's a good article from National Geographic Research Society. I think they're a credible citation, if you will. It's called the Y2K Millennium Bug. But it says here that banks which calculate interest on a daily basis face real problems, et cetera, et cetera. It says instead of a rate of interest for one day, 11/1 to 11/2, the computer will calculate a rate of interest of almost 100 years back to 12/30/1999. It's there. It's Y2K. You see it. And the court would best be served to stay this matter and take a real close look with their own expert in accounting. Whoever the referee in this case is would want to take a look at this and see if there's merit, and there certainly is. Signing off.